Ron Vitiello, great to meet you in person after talking to you so many times on satellite from New York on the weekend during my show. So as we see, we've got Border Czar Tom Homan and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem really making good on President Trump's campaign promises to secure the border. Are we going to continue to see the cartels get more creative and adapt and change?
That's the work at the border, right? Even with this leadership, even with almost nearly 100% less activity at the southwest border, there's a lot going on that's good on behalf of the operations down there, but this is what we're going to have to watch out for, that threat that exists in border communities at the river. So I'm glad the front line's out there. I'm glad you all are exposing it, but this is what we're going to be vigilant about, making sure that if the cartels are out of the human smuggling business in a dramatic way, like with a 100% drop in activity, then they're going to find a way to make money somehow. And so we need to be vigilant in these locations on the near coasts, like places like Brownsville and San Diego. We've got to be mindful of tunnels. And then the cartels have no responsibility to play by any rules. They set the rules, They set the agenda. And so drones and overhead and tunnels, and those are the things that will be the work of the Border Patrol. But we can be assured that there's more of us, more agents on the ground, more capability being brought to bear on the border because of the lower levels of activity that are there.
And NewsNation has these exclusive pictures to show you. Let's go ahead and talk about the news of the day and this Kilmar Abrego Garcia, this alleged MS-13 gang member. We're watching the spat play out in the media between Republicans and Democrats on this one. Here's what Democrats have been saying. Take a listen.
The constitutional crisis is here.
What's happening right now, for people to understand, is a constitutional crisis.
Donald Trump does not have a right to ignore legally obtained court orders, and if he does not comply, then he is heading towards a constitutional crisis.
I mean, I can't count how many times I've heard that. Is that alarmism? Is that truth? Are we headed toward a constitutional crisis with this?
I think it's over-indexed. I think what happened here is this individual made choices. They came into the country illegally. He's been a known gang member. He has a criminal activity in his background, maybe not convictions, but he was deported based on the fact that he was in this country illegally, was set up for a hearing in front of an immigration judge, was ordered deported by that judge, appealed that hearing, and was ordered. The government won that appeal, so he was removed based on the current situation that we see at the border now.
Okay, and what do you make of Senator Christopher Van Hollen going to El Salvador yesterday? There's a whole host of other Democrats who have put their names out there saying they would like to go and do the same thing to try to bring him home, as they say, and Republicans are saying he is home. This is where he's from. He's not coming back to the United States. But what do you make of the optics of that?
Well, let's start where it is operationally. If he comes back to the United States, he's going to be deported again. So this seems to me more like grandstanding than anything else, right? We're going to El Salvador. He's negotiating with the government. That's what the president is supposed to do. In fact, in the court ruling, it says that this is foreign policy to be conducted by the executive branch. And we're going to be where we are at after these rulings for being deported. That's where this ends up. He's a native son of El Salvador. If the roles were reversed, if there was an American citizen in jail in the United States that did something in El Salvador that they were concerned about, if they asked us to send a native son of America to El Salvador just because they asked us to, we wouldn't do that either.
All right. It seems like President Trump is letting Pam Bondi do the talking. He seems to be distancing himself a little bit, not just from Kilmar Abrego Garcia, but all of these deportations of the alleged gang members that are now in that max security prison there. Do you think he's distancing himself? And if so, why?
I don't think he's distancing himself. He's given the tools to people like Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem and the front line of DHS. The intent is clear. Secure the border, make America safe again. That's ongoing. Now, obviously, there's a legal situation here. The less people say about it, the better off we're going to be.
All right. Now, the president also sounding off today on the judge's decision to block the deportations of 530,000 migrants given temporary status under Biden. So is this going to be potentially slowing things down? President Trump said it's going to take 100 years if he follows the letter of the law the way that it is right now, or this procedure anyway.
Well, leadership and the front line are going to continue to do what we're doing, right? Continue to secure the border, engage it in a situation that allows us to have situational awareness, eventually operational control. So we're going to keep doing that on the border. We see our brethren in ICE going into the interior, getting the worst of the worst. All of those things are going to continue. The abuse of parole, the out-of-control border that happened in the last administration needs to be responded to, and this is part and parcel of that.
All right. And do you think more people, when they see headlines like this, are going to start self-deporting?
Well, we already see the evidence of that, right? The CBP home app, people are raising their hand inside the application to request a ride home.
All right, that's what we want. All right, Ron Vitiello, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.